Difficult. Women.
Hey. Happy day after Valentine's Day.
Oh, I'm still so dry.
I'm sore from crying.
Capitalism has made my back hurt.
My name's Katie.
Okay. My name is Marie, and you are listening to the Difficult Women podcast. Hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day. And I hope you hugged a friend who didn't.
Yeah, or called someone or sent some lonely friend some candy or something.
You know, I was at the grocery store and I turned the corner and then they just have the whole big thing advertised with the chocolates, and the chocolates are disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm a snob. My mouth is, I got a fine palate. Don't give me that cheap chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
But they got the cheap chocolate. I know you do. You also like all the terrible candy.
Yeah. I like the conversation hearts, and then it's like neon orange on the inside of like a piece of chocolate, or like a neon pink. I'm like, ooh, what's this?
No.
What's this one?
God, Katie, when we go on tour, we stop at gas stations, and whenever you see those or you put in a quarter and get candy, you get so excited. And it's like those. That candy has been living there for 20
Since
years.
The 80s. I love it.
Yeah, no wonder you got hoof and mouth disease on tour.
Yep.
It was probably that candy ring that you got that was made in the 80s.
Someone
and you bought.
Sucked on it, put it back in, and I
stuck it in my mouth. That's what I know to get you for next year.
Sounds about right. Just want a half-sucked piece of candy. What? I don't know. Sorry, I derailed that. Where you? So you were at the grocery store and you were hit with all the candy.
Well, the candy, the bears, all the gifts, and it honestly, I'm sorry, but I'm single. I'm going through it a little bit. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I turned around to the corner and I almost had a mental breakdown. I just wanted to rip everything down and be like, fuck all this, fuck you. And also, let me just tell you, I'm just going to go off real quick. Even if I was in a relationship, I don't want that shit. Do something actually sincere. Write me a song, goddammit. Or I will take a pizza in the shape of a heart. That's lovely. But don't buy that shit. Don't go to the grocery store and just be like, oh, I gotta get my bitch something and get that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Last year, I was dating this guy, really liked him. I put dumplings in his mailbox because I had some extra dumplings laying around.
Okay, wait a minute. Is this the kind of gift you want? So just put some dumplings in my mailbox. This sounds familiar.
I think that's lovely. I thought that was the nicest gift ever.
So funny.
Anyway, he showed up with a little stuffed animal that he got at the grocery store. How are you?
I'm fine. Just slept through Valentine's Day. I just left my body. Just didn't have to think about it. I don't know why it hurts so much. And the thing is, it's not that much better when you're dating someone. It really isn't. Because the pressure.
No, I've told this on the pod before, but the most romantic thing I ever did for a guy, I really, really loved him. I wore lingerie. I made him this incredible steak and a chocolate souffle. I went overboard. Then we get in the hot tub. We get in my bathtub.
It was a hot tub for the night.
And I'm like,
you started farting bubbles. And then
I did the whole bubbles thing with my own butt.
So romantic.
No, but I looked him in the eye and I was like, give me that big dick. And he was like, don't patronize me. You know what's medium size. It's that's all I can think about when a Valentine's Day comes around is that guy being like, don't patronize me.
It's the funniest story ever.
I know. After all of that I had done.
That's what he noticed. You know, it's too much. It's too much pressure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you know what we do have for us to recover from this, or maybe if you've been following our love challenge, you had a better Valentine's Day than we did, and we've been doing love challenge and it's been great and definitely helps, but also this is much better, and that's about self-love and the self-love challenge. So welcome back.
We have our special love connoisseur with us again today. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Remind us who you are, Lori.
So I am the intuitive love coach here to help you get in the habit of loving yourself first and foremost and developing that relationship with yourself.
Yes. So tell us about what are we going to expect in week 3 now that we've had such a good, amazing Valentine's Day?
Yeah. So now that you're feeling yourself a little bit more and seeing that treating yourself well really does change not only your world, but the world, because great loving energy is, contagious. This week, we're going to be looking at how to keep that love alive. Because again, if you've been in a long-term relationship, you know that things, ebb and flow. And how do you maintain that great feeling that you're feeling right now coming off of it? So we're going to look this week at some of the negative thinking that we do about others and about ourselves and how important those thoughts are in keeping your love alive. And we're also going to be looking at some ways that you can take hope, the power of hope, and harness it to make yourself feel good and to counteract some of the negative energy that you receive from other people so that it doesn't make yours heavy and you spiral. So we're just really looking at ways to keep that love alive.
So important, I mean, sometimes it's true. Like sometimes you'll go through a good week or have a good weekend on your own. You're like, oh, this is so great. I made it. I did it. And then you get challenged by the people around you.
Exactly. Exactly.
So this is very exciting. All right. Well, we'll be diving in to week 3. And if you are just joining us on this love challenge, it doesn't matter if you feel behind. You can just jump in again from the top. Time is not real anyway.
Exactly.
Join us.
Every day is just running into the next anyway. So
especially right now.
It's never too late to love yourself.
Absolutely. So if you'd like to join us and you haven't yet, you can go on over to soulsexy.co and download our workbook and then read more about Lori and our challenge here that we're doing with her at Difficult Women.
And get ready to fall in love with yourself.
Absolutely. Because remember, you are loved and you are loved. So act like you know it.
Oh, wow. Wowie, wow. I really am getting there on the love train for myself.
Yes.
Thanks to Lori. That's really
makes
great.
me feel so much better.
Well, since if our intro didn't give it away, obviously, you know how we feel about Valentine's Day. And there's a reason for that. Why is that? Because we have some horror stories of dating, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do.
So we thought actually we would go back a couple episodes ago and actually replay this game that we played actually on Halloween a couple years ago. And it's a very spooky game.
Spooky games for Valentine's Day.
About our real lives.
Yep.
So enjoy. So we wanted to play a game of horror story or dating story, right?
Bad
What's
date.
Bad date. Which one is it?
A terrifying tale of murder and destruction or just heartbreak?
Is this the scariest thing ever in the whole world or just our lives?
It's just something that happened to me.
Who would like to begin? Would you like to?
I could tell a terrifying tale.
Ooh, please.
Right, so now as you listen to this tale, listeners, you have to decide if this tale is a real scary story that I found on the internet or it's something that happened to me. So once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a young lady who was just beginning her life in the big city called York New. And she was out and about and living her life and feeling excellent. And as she was out and about in her wonderful life, she came upon a magician. He was a small little magician And he brought her towards him and said, "Oh, fine, beautiful woman, come to me. Let me show you some tricks." And he wooed her and distracted her with card games and card tricks. And he's like, "If you meet me out again on the eve of the 13th, then I shall show you some more wondrous things." And so she thought, do I meet this small magician again, or do I not? And she decided, yes, I will meet him. He has enchanted me. So she met him, this magician, again one eve, and he took her to this magical museum where there was sounds and lights and fairy tale things. And then he got her a little bit drunk, and then put a spell on her with some potions, and then took her back to her place. And then proceeded to fornicate with her. And she fell under his spell, very in love with this magician. And then he disappeared. She never heard from him again. She called him a lot of times, but he never called back.
Oh, no.
And his name was Quifo. Is that a real story or is that a Halloween story? Can you guess?
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna go with real story.
Yeah, it's a real story. Everything about that story is 100% accurate. He was a magician. He was kind of small. He did card tricks for me, and I was like, "This guy's cool." Then he took me to a museum.
Oh wow!
And then he was like, "Then we did it," and I was like, "Oh my god, I think you're so great." We also went on a couple more dates than that, but it was made the story too long.
But then he literally disappeared.
Yeah, he was a very good magician and just was able to disappear. I called him. He was my first person that I like dated out of college, and I thought like, this is great. Everything's gonna be great, and he just totally fucked me over. I was like, oh, good. That was
magicians are great. I just don't think you should date them.
I mean, are they great? I'm a little biased.
I love a cape though.
I mean, he had a cape. He also would wear a fake mustache in his act.
No.
Yes, he did.
Would it stick to you when you made out?
No, he didn't wear it all the time. He just wore it when he was doing his magic show. It was just really.
I can imagine
to be rejected by that was really hard. That hit me hard at the beginning. That is a terrifying story. That is truly
that's
terrifying. What did you guys think out there? You should write us in. When I was telling that story, we were like, "This can't be real. This must be a horror story." I'm chilled to the bone.
Well, tell me if this is a horror story or a dating story. Once upon a time, the most beautiful woman of all the land was hanging out with a young prince from a far country across the pond. And as they were together, she had also drank some potion of beer and tequila and passed out, slowly dropping her beautiful head of, what color's my hair? I mean,
her hair was auburn.
Auburn. And as she put her head to the pillow, she fell asleep. Then in the morning, as the birds were chirping outside her window, she woke up to learn that the young prince had signed into her Seamless account and ordered 2 extra large pizzas and breadsticks on her Seamless account without telling her.
What a piece of shit.
Is that a horror story or not?
That's a real horror story. That can't be true. Is that true? That nobody would be that cruel to a fair maiden.
That was the worst.
That's terrible.
It's true. I mean, that's non-consensual.
Yeah, you can't. That's theft. That's full-blown theft.
Full-on theft.
Somebody went into your account and stole a pizza from you.
I guess in his defense, I was like, we should get a pizza.
He was like, I'm going to get a pizza from you.
I'm going to get 2 pizzas.
He could have used his own account.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the point.
Yep. And he broke up with me. All right. There's the real horror.
God, what have we been doing with our lives?
I don't know.
I'm going to do some spells this year to be like, no more of this nonsense.
I lit a sparkler last night by the fire and tried to do like a new life, Marie. Let's reshape it. Let's get it going.
Some crystals.
Yes, I do. Well, I have these rocks. Remember, I did a spell in Thailand that was kind of kooky, but I kept the rocks. I took them from Thailand to the Americas.
To the Americas.
To the Americas. And I actually sleep. I have them on my windowsill, so I like am close to them and can feel their energy while I sleep.
You know, you can cleanse and re-energize your crystals on the 31st under the blue moon.
Oh, right.
I don't know why. When did I become this hippy dippy? I was sort of like a slow burn. But
I've been quoting your tarot to everybody.
Oh, I mean, it's all good and real, and I love all of it. I'm not mad at myself about this person that I've become. It's just, when did it happen? I never saw it coming.
Well, it's very positive. I really like this part of you now.
I like it.
Not that you were negative Nancy before, but the optimism and like it's going to get bad, but then it's going to get really good.
Oh, I'm like really excited.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's all going to be fine. But we do have to vote and all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
Do you want to hear another scary story?
Ooh, please.
Okay. Once upon a time, there was a fair maiden. Long time ago, and she was out in the eve, as she pretends would find herself out in the eve, and she met a fair prince, or so she thought. She spoke to this fair prince for 10 minutes, and he gave her his phone number, and she called him, and they set up a date. And she was excited. This was her very first date. Real date. She was still in college. This maiden was. And this gentleman showed up, and he looked nothing like she remembered, and it was terrifying. But she stayed on the date. And as they proceeded to have the date, he turned out to be a terrible person. And at the end of the date, he said, "I didn't bring my wallet."
Oh, no.
So
what?
Then the fair maiden had to pay for both meals.
Oh,
and he ordered
no.
a lot. He ordered like a lot of food.
Wait, that's not the same one as the same horror story of didn't somebody steal a wallet?
Oh, no.
Or they found it in the bathroom?
Oh, that's a whole other story. That wasn't even, luckily that wasn't like the date that did it. But I was on a date once where I was hanging my bag by the bar, and then this when I went to get my wallet to pay, it was gone out of my bag, and I was like, and I felt like such an idiot, and everyone's like, I was like, somebody like took my wallet, and they were like, "You've been sitting here the whole time. Like, how could someone take it?" And I felt like such an idiot, and like people were like, "Ugh." And then I was just like looking all over the bar. I was like, "Has anyone seen it?" Couldn't find it. I went into the bathroom to like check there, thinking maybe it was on the toilet. No. And then I don't know what possessed me to do this, but all of a sudden it was like somebody took over my body, and I shoved my hand into the trash can, and I pulled out my wallet. And I was like, am I losing my mind? Did I throw my wallet away? Like, what happened? And so I looked in it, and it was missing some things. And so I called the bar the next day and was like, "Hey, somebody like was tampering with my, like something happened. Could you check your cameras?" Well, it turns out earlier in the evening, a woman in a wheelchair had come in to the bar. And when she came in, she passed by me, and then she was making a lot of commotion to be like, "Help me up on the bar, help me up on the bar." So the bartender came over and helped her up onto the bar, and then she ordered a drink, and he was like, "That'll be $10." And she's like, "My friend is going to pay for it." And he was like, "Okay." So she drank her drink, and then she ordered another drink, and he said, "Okay, well, now you owe me $20." And she's like, "My friend is coming, he's going to pay for it." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So he got like another drink, and then she ordered another drink, and the guy was like, "Dude, this is $30, you have to pay me." And she's like, "My friend is coming, my friend is coming." He's like, "No, I'm not going to give you another drink until you pay for this drink." And then she faked a heart attack and had him call 911. And then the police, the ambulance came and took her away in the ambulance. And at some point during that time, she was able to roll past my bag and still take my wallet out, take like a credit card and some money, and then throw the wallet in the trash. She was, I mean, she
horror
deserves
story.
It. Yeah, that was, she's a witch, but a bad witch. We're a good witch. She's a bad witch.
Good witch, bad witch. Wow.
Oh man,
that would have been it's a very memorable date.
It was a memorable date. I thought it would bond us, but it didn't.
Well, horror or real. another fair maiden.
I see a theme here.
Made sweet, sweet love, consensual, lovely lovemaking a couple times in one evening to a pretty well-known comedian. Not gonna lie, pretty. She was very, it had been a long time coming, a crush, some would say, in far-off worlds. But after consensual sex and feeling good about it, a couple days later, she tuned into a radio show that he was on, and he says on air, talking about his chlamydia. So immediately, the fair maiden sent a beautiful letter with like an ink thing with a wax
seal.
Yeah, a wax seal to the court gesture.
Yes, or pigeon.
To be, or a Facebook message, whatever.
Yeah.
Of hey, just listen to you on this radio show. Do you really have chlamydia? I got to go get tested now. Thank you. Where he did say that he would pay for the test. It was negative. However, he did say he'd pay for that STD test because they're like $65.
Yeah.
At Planned Parenthood. And he never paid me back for that. But I then did see him months later.
Oh, yeah.
I should have
been
been
right now.
STD
Be like,
check.
you owe me, yeah.
But here's the real horror. So that was terrible. But then like months, maybe even a year later, I saw him. We all had a show or something, and he's like flirting hardcore with me, and I'm like, I'm not having it. And then he actually tries to kiss me and in front of everybody. And then I learned the next day that he had made out with my friend 10 minutes before.
Oh my God. That man should be burned at the stake.
Katie knows the name.
Oh, yeah,
if you DM me, I might tell you.
Yeah, I mean, we might just start outing people on this pod today.
I would love it. But he a horrible human being.
Horrible human being.
Horrible.
I'm
pretty sure he's had
behavior.
a girlfriend during that whole thing.
Oh
too.
yeah, I would not be surprised.
But I mean, a guy that made out with one of my best friends and then 10 minutes later tried to make out with me. Incredible.
Incroyable, as they say in France.
Horror.
That is horror. That is a horror.
You remember that whole thing?
Oh,
it was
remember.
Just like
it's awful.
It wasn't. I mean, I've definitely gone through way worse with relationships and stuff, but and I was not in a relationship with this person, and nor did I ever want to be. However, I could not believe that another human being would treat another human being like that, like just trash, just
and also
garbage.
Treat multiple human beings,
multiple
like that, as it turns
incredible women.
Yeah, some of like the best.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, he deserves to rot in hell. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. Wow. You know, as we're telling these stories, I'm getting spooked and also sad. Very sad.
Oh.
Because it's like, what are we all doing? And I know it's not just us. I know there's lots of fine maidens and mandans. What's the opposite of a maiden? Mandans?
A mandan.
A knight?
What would
it be? I don't even know. Men? Gentlemen? I don't know. Anyway, the point is there's lots of people out there that have gone through some shitty stuff, and it's making me realize that, like, yes, on this Halloween, this is a perfect time to cleanse yourself of all the bullshit. Mm-hmm. Wait, did you have another story?
Oh yes, I do.
Tell us
another spooky one. This one kind of involves you.
Oh God, what is it?
Do you remember when we were on tour and I was sleeping with the person in Nashville? And remember, I came home and my nose was busted.
Oh, right. Oh,
so I had spent the night with this person, and I came back, and my nose basically had busted. I don't think I broke it, but I still have a mark, and it kind of is. I might have broken my nose.
It happens.
There was just blood everywhere. But what happened was, everyone was concerned that he hit me. He did not hit me. I was so scared because a situation I had in college was I was dating this guy. As I laid my auburn head of hair on a, not a satin pillow, it was a pretty disgusting pillow on a futon. The guy I was dating at the time immediately was like, watch out for my gun. And I was like, what are you talking about? And the guy I was dating in college kept a handgun under his pillow.
God, that's so scary. That is scary. Ooh.
Terrifying. It was very terrifying. We broke up very shortly after. That's a whole other story. I'm not going to get into that one. You can actually listen to that story on Risk Podcast. I talked about that. But so then cut to years later, I'm dating this guy here in Nashville. And as I put my head down on his pillow, he yells like, wait. And then I hear wait. And I immediately am triggered to think that that there's a gun on the pillow, under the pillow, and to like, you know, he's telling me be careful when putting your head down, which is insane. So I pop out of bed. As he's jumping into bed, our heads collide in midair, and my nose bursts and there is blood. Like, I've never seen that much blood come out of my body before.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It was terrifying. Lots of blood and gore. Ooh. We worked that in.
Halloween, there you go.
But try explaining to he was a nice guy, but I had to then explain. He was like, why did you do that? And I was like, I thought there was a gun under your pillow. He was like, what? Why would you think that there's a gun under the pillow? It was very...
Because we're in Nashville.
I don't know why I'm single.
Oh, God, I know.
Every time I lay with a man, I have to check if there's a gun under his pillow.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Well, that's like, I don't know.
I should probably bring that up with my therapist.
Yeah, you know. I mean, as long as it's not happening every time you go into a house, you're like, is there a gun under this pillow?
Is there a gun under the... I mean, I just don't date men with guns. And I think that was the only guy I ever dated. And I was so young. I was 20, I think, or 19. And that he had a gun. I normally don't date men who are in support of guns. But anyway, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came back to where we were staying and you were like, what happened to your nose? Did he hit you?
I'm surprised you didn't go to the hospital.
Probably should have. But no, we had a show. I think we had to drive to Knoxville. We had a show.
Like, fuck it.
I was like, anything for the band. I'll perform with a broken nose.
I love it. I've had lots of weird injuries and illnesses on the road, but it's just comes with the territory.
Once upon a time, Katy got hoof and mouth disease.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That was really weird.
It was really weird. I've never been so sick. I had like the worst fever ever after that. It was in Michigan? No. Detroit. Yeah.
Grand Rapids?
Grand Rapids,
Michigan?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And your hands, then they
the worst part of it really was that like we were on stage. I wasn't feeling great. It was your birthday. Mm-hmm. That was the other thing. And then we were supposed to like have a little birthday for you. But then I got off stage. I was like, I'm dying. I think I'm dying. And then I had a fever of like 103 or something. It was crazy. I'd never had a fever like that. And I was like just in the corner, just dying. And then I went to bed that night thinking like, I may not wake up tomorrow. And then I felt fine in the morning. It like went away. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then we had breakfast and room service for your birthday. That was really nice. And then like a week later, I started getting these like, they were like chicken pox on the inside of my hands and on the bottom of my feet. And I didn't want to tell anybody because I was like, what's happening to me? I'm turning into a chicken pox.
A werewolf.
And then I remember like being in the car, like noticing it. And you're telling me some random, you're like, and then this happened. Like, And I was like really nervous. I started Googling it. I was like itchy things on my hands and feet. And they were like, oh, hoof and mouth disease. Foot and mouth. But it's basically like, it's basically like chicken. It's like a variation of chicken pox.
But you catch it. You catch it?
Yeah, I caught it from somebody like on tour. And then
that's why we stopped shaking hands.
I know. Don't touch people. I mean, we stopped touching people before coronavirus. We're like, don't touch me. And then in New Orleans, I got pink eye. And also, don't touch people in New Orleans, of all places. Don't. Everyone, God knows where their hands have been. Fingers up butts, left and right. You know, that's what I remember about New Orleans.
Well, one of my favorite memories on tour was when we got very, very drunk in Charleston, South Carolina, and started just Googling because they have all these ghost tours, but it's so expensive. And you could just Google this shit. So we kept Googling, and then we'd find a ghost story, and I would take Katie to the spot, and then we would tell it to each other. It was so fun, but I'm pretty sure, like, I wonder what tourists, like, would have thought of us if they had just seen us.
I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. We basically did the same thing in Edinburgh, though, and we actually, like, got a full, like, tour late at night with, like, a couple glasses of wine in hand.
Yeah, there was an app.
Yeah, it was great.
We downloaded and then...
and that was legit terrifying because...
It was very scary.
There was like, I don't know, Edinburgh is like a very spooky town. Like it's old. It's old.
And then those drunk guys were chasing us.
That was also spooky. It's spooky to be a woman. It's spooky to walk down the street and be yelled at by ghosts of construction workers past. Oh, spooky tales of love past. Well, this has been fun. Right?
Yes. I'm scared, Katie.
I know. You should be. You should be.
Do you have anything, like, any premonitions about our future love? I mean, with this self-love challenge.
I have a premonition. I do. And the premonition is that it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I swear to God.
It can only get better, right?
I swear
Are we at rock bottom? I don't know.
No. I was just talking to somebody about this. A gentleman. I was just talking to him about this the other day.
You spoke to a man?
I spoke to a man? A man? Yeah, I did. And I gave him the same advice as I give everybody now, including myself, which is, have your boundaries, respect yourself, take our self-love challenge, do whatever you got to do so that you can also find love.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we hope you all enjoyed this spooky game that we just played about our real lives.
Well, if you want to avoid any more spooky tales of hellish love, dating, I don't know, then join our self-love challenge. You don't have to worry about that bullshit. Cut that shit out of your life.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Bye-bye.